What's up, everyone? Out here for another ride after work. Made a few clicker changes to the front end. Went 3 clicks on the rebound to the S. I don't know if that means softer or harder. I'm guessing it's softer. This glove is pissing me off. And Fox production has gone down so much over the years, sadly. These gloves suck. Man, after the rain on the weekend, she is muddy and slick. Arms are pumped up today. Honest 1 month review of owning a 2-stroke for the first time. First words. I absolutely love it. Greatest bike ever made. So light, so nimble. It goes wherever you want it to. You can keep the front end light whenever you want it to, whenever you want to. The power of it is very nice. manageable power. Where when I rode the YZ125X, I found whenever you touch the power band, on the YZ125X, it would just want to backflip, like bars would want to rip out of your hands. It was just unmanageable for me. Other people, sure. But for me, I found it was too much. I was finding myself having to hold back more than I could push. Where on this 125X, I'm still able to push pretty good. Even though I'm getting used to the bike still, it's still very manageable. Woo, that was a fun downhill. Stay wide of the log. And I don't know if this is actually the case, but I find on the 125X versus my 250F, my WR 250F, I'm a gear higher always on this bike than what I would be on my WR. On my WR, I would usually be second gear only through the tight stuff, and only like really long straightaways and tight stuff is when I would flick to third on my WR. Where on this, I find I'm only riding third. And only on the really tight stuff, I'll downshift to second on the 125. My guess is it's the transmission. Obviously, 125s are 6-speed, I think. I don't know about the X. I know the race bikes are. So I'm guessing these are too. So, yeah, I'm guessing that this first gear is a lot shorter than my WR. way lighter, more nimble. In my opinion, weight it's a way easier way easier to manage in this tight stuff. It being so much lighter, the things I really like is the lack of engine braking for this tight stuff, because you can flow through the corners and carry your momentum better. Where on the 4-strokes, the engine braking can kind of mess with your balance, because if you're off throttle, obviously you have the engine braking, so you kind of have to be more smooth with your throttle hand and more consistent and leaning onto it instead of your jabs at the throttle. On the open stuff though, I still think I may like a 4-stroke better, just because I still don't really know what I'm doing on a 2-stroke in the open stuff. I'm so scared of blowing it up, like just from over revving it or whatever like that. So in the open stuff, I'm still hesitant. And those faster corners, like nice sweeper, flat corners, the engine braking of the 4-stroke definitely does help you with that. Keep the front end planted. Where this, you feel like to make the corner, if you're used to the 4-stroke, it feels like your entry speed is so much slower than on a 4-stroke because you don't have the engine braking, of course. But you can carry your momentum, in my opinion, a bit better than the 4-strokes through corners on. Than you can on a 4-stroke. That was a nice 3rd gear log up that hill. What way do we want to go? I'm moving that log. That was dangerous. Oh. That's a new branch down. But overall, like, I didn't think I would gel with the 2-stroke as good as I feel on it. Like, I'm very, very happy that I decided to go. But like this bike feels like a mountain bike so much, so it's like if you've grown up mountain biking, and are like a competent mountain biker, like you think every trail, every mountain bike trail in Ontario is easy and a joke, then a 125 is perfect for it. So that's where I come from. My background's more the mountain bike, BMX side of things. And this bike feels exactly like my mountain bike would if I had a motor strap. So like that turn corner, that trail, little track thing I just did, like carrying your speed through those corners on a 4-stroke, I would be struggling with. Where on this, you can kind of just lean it over and it'll go. As long as you don't stall it like that, and you make sure your front end gets planted on something. You're pretty well set. Whew. Pumping up. I think it's this glove. It's sitting too loose on my hand. I think this glove's sitting too loose on my hand. Like, see that flop there? So I feel my hand shaking on the bar quite a bit. Well, not shaking, but moving. And it's making me hold on tighter than I would like to. Woo. another perfect example why the light nimbleness of this bike is so good. I don't think I've ever ridden this trail. Ooh, that's dangerous. Oh, that was a lot deeper than I thought. This may be dumb. Very, very pointless. This may lead to absolutely nowhere. Yep. My arm is so pumped. Why? Water crossing. I'm not going to do that. Nope. That is more than what I want to do.
ride. I'm just gonna take the rail trail back to the truck. I hope you all have a great day, night, whatever time you've been watching that. I hope you had a great day.